Bellevue Wolverines commanding a 2-0 lead early on with 6:55 remaining in the first quarter. Will Durrell gives over to player not on the roster. Over to Eric Hart. Eric Hart pulls for a mid-range jumper, bounces off, rebounded by Williams. Williams is going to push. Williams over to Mitten. Mitten's going to take himself into the lane, Euro-stepping, and layup no. Will Durrell up the court, stolen by Vaha. Over to Ross. Ross no look pass to Daniel Mitten, who has a wide open two. Will Durrell being pressured by Ross. Loses his man, calling for a screen. Gives over to number 11, Eric Hart. Eric Hart drives and loses it out of bounds. It's going to be Viking basketball. Landon, what have you seen so far in the game? Observations?
One thing I saw, Isaac Vaha right there, we saw him have a fantastic game yesterday against King, putting up 20 on the board, if I remember correctly, or more, and having just a great game overall. He had the first steal of the game.
That was a good sign. Vaha with a missed reverse layup over to number 4. Number 4 gives to Hudson Hansen. Hansen hands off to Will Durrell. Durrell calling out the play up front. Coming off a Hansen screen. Drops Ross to the floor, no call. Hansen driving on a screen, switches on by Vaha. Mitten in the post, defending Tom Nash. Tom Nash gets a mid-range jump shot. Ross down the court to Kale. Kale thinks about a three, drives baseline. Into the lane, gives to Vaha. Vaha gets a wide open layup on a great feed from Kale Nicholson.
Great teamwork there by Kale and Vaha.
Will Durrell. Bellevue playing a super slow pace to start this game. Durrell comes off a screen, gives back to Hansen. Hansen drives to his left. Over to the left wing, gives it back up to Durrell at the top. Durrell throws a pass, deflected away by Kale Nicholson. Over to Jordan Ross on the left side. Jordan Ross is going to take it himself into the lane and lay it up for 2. Vikings have 6 points. Durrell playing the slow pace, comes off a Nash screen. Durrell over to Hansen. Hansen down to Nash. And there's going to be a foul called on Daniel Mitten there.
Preston Bushman checking in for the Vikings for Daniel Mitten.
And Jamari Egbert checking in for Andrew Williams. Vikings about even in the height department here. Hansen at the high post being guarded by Vaha. Throws down to Nash. Nash turn, faces up, no good. Rebounded by Egbert. Egbert down the court. Egbert over to Bush on the left side. Bushman backs it out over to Ross up top. Vikings set up their offense over to Egbert on the right side. Egbert puts a dribble on the deck, takes it in the lane, tries to finger roll, lay it up, no good. Rebounded by Nash. Nash over to Hansen on the right. Hansen dribbling up the court. Hansen driving, pulls up for a mid-range jump shot. No good, rebounded by Jordan Ross. Ross is going to take it himself up the court. Ross in the lane, over to Kale in the right, left corner three. No good off the back of the iron. Rebound on Isaac Vaha. Vaha up to Bush. Bush thinks about a three. Pump fakes twice, over to Ross on the left side. Ross jab steps, drives into the lane, kicks out to Kale. Kale's going to reset up top. Kale over to Bush. Bush looking for a pass, finds Kale on the left. Kale comes off, gives it to Isaac. Isaac pump fakes, takes it on the lane, takes it himself, lays it up and in for 2. Isaac Vaha with a great pump fake and drive there. Hansen playing point guard here. Isaac Vaha is going to pick him up. Over to number 4. Number 4 poked away by Jamari Egbert. Mari with the hustle. Mari gets it, and off his fingertips out of bounds. It's going to be Wolverine basketball. Checking back into the game for the Vikings, Daniel Mitten to get Isaac Vaha a rest. Isaac Vaha playing well so far, 4 points. Vikings up 4-8. 3:19 remaining in the first quarter. Number 4, inbounds to Hans Stone. 4 gets it back from Stone. 4 picked up by Ross. Over to Hansen on the left, being guarded by Mitten. Kick down to 4 and foul on the play. Looks like Jamari reached from behind. Nearly hitting a poor little girl in a PG Hoops shirt on the front row.
One difference between this game and yesterday's, Brendan, is we see height for Bellevue has obviously been an advantage for them.
McKaden Adams checking in for Preston Bushman. as Vikings bench gets loud, and 11's going to drive into the lane and lay it up for 2. Eric Hart with the bucket. Ross down court fast to Bushman. Bushman back to Ross. Ross thinks about a 3, gives up to Egbert. Egbert and travels on the play. Vikings up 6-8, 2:52 to play in the first. Dylan Jones checking in for the Vikings, getting Jamari Egbert a rest. Into the game for the Wolverines is Alex Yu playing point guard, picked up by Jones. Alex over to Nash. Nash being guarded by Bushman. Number 11, Eric Hart drives, gives down to Nash, and Nash is going to lay it up for 2. Ross on the left side. Ross being picked up by Yu. Over to Bushman on the right side. Bushman jab steps back to Ross on the left. Ross comes off a Bushman screen, crosses over into Mitten in the corner. Mitten thinks about a 3. Back to Bushman. Bushman driving. Vikings playing a spread 5-out offense with Daniel Mitten not playing post and playing out. Shot clock running out. Dylan Jones at the top of the key for 3. No good off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Bushman. Bushman kicks out to Ross. Ross at the top. Ross finds wide open Daniel Mitten in the high post, drives to his left, hangs, lays it up for 2. No, rebounded by, and they're going to call a jump ball. McCaden Adams with the hustle there.
Cade Adams playing really tough right there, even though he had a guy at least 4 inches taller than him going for the ball.
McCaden Adams does not care about height at all. Cale Mickelson checking into the game for Jordan Ross. Cale up top to Jones. Jones drives with his left, back up to Preston. Preston thinks about a 3, drives into the lane, pump fakes, steps over, lays it up, no good. Rebound fought for, and the refs are going to call out of bounds. Bellevue ball. We're going to bring the ball up. Alex Yu, a freshman, according to this stat sheet. Yu picked up by Adams. Over to Hansen. Hansen coming off a Rubenstein screen. Over to Hart. Hart over to Rubenstein. Rubenstein finds a cutting Hart, stolen away by Daniel Mitten. Mitten on the right side. Over to Bush on the left. Bushman over to Cale Mickelson. Cale looking for a cutting Caden Adams, doesn't get it to him. Comes off a Cale Mickelson screen. Bushman gives to Mitten. And in the left corner, Mitten crosses over, drives baseline, gets shut down. Up to Bushman, and Bushman loses it out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover for the Vikings. And we're tied 8-8 with 51 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Isaac Vaha checks back in for Daniel Mitten. And there's a foul on the play. Cale Mickelson drawing the off-ball offensive foul. And the Bellevue coach is extremely upset about that, understandably. Adams on the left side. Over to Cale. Jones finds Adams wide open in the left corner for 3, in and out. Rebounded by Alex Yu by the Wolverines. Dylan Jones is going to poke it out of bounds. And the Vikings are going to retain possession here. Both teams making substitutions. Rubenstein checking out for the Wolverines. Adams is going to inbounds, find Cale on the left block. Cale spins again, lays it up with his right hand, got it. 20 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Vikings up 10-8. Yu bringing the ball up the court. Picked up by Adams. Yu crosses over into the lane, drives on Vaha. Lays it up, no good. Poked out of bounds by Dylan Jones. Is going to stay here with Wolverine ball with 6 seconds to play in the first quarter. Yu's going to inbound underneath. Up to Hansen, poked away. 4 seconds left. Vaha picks it up. 3, 2, 1. Adams in the corner for the buzzer beater. No good. Off the back of the rim. And that's the end of the first quarter. Vikings up 10-8. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching PGSN. You're home for Pleasant Grove Sports. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at _PGSN. And we'd like to thank tonight's sponsors, brought to you by Landon Van Overbeek.
Rogers and Russell attorneys at law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove near the rodeo grounds. Murdoch Hyundai, located adjacent to Home Depot in Orem. And Low Book Car Sales across State Street from Walmart in PG/Linden.
You know, once you get in the PG border, it all starts to mesh together.
Yeah.
And then once you're in, you think you're in Linden, you're actually in Orem.
It's weird. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah. It should all just be... Anything south of Pleasant Grove should just be Provo.
I mean, that would be pretty nice.
Be simple. A lot more simple.
Brendan, what are you seeing right now that's making a difference for the Vikings in the lead?
Well, it's definitely a defensive battle with the Vikings only getting to 10 after the end of the first quarter, but the Vikings are just making shots, it looks like. Both teams seem to be pretty evenly matched, and we have a great game on our hands. We saw Jumanji last night.
That was a great movie. I mean, it was the same as the first one.
Yeah, my honest review, it was the same as the first movie, but it's still entertaining and well made.
Yes.
Same theme, different plot. So the Vikings are going to put Andrew Williams, Jordan Ross, Preston Bushman, Cale Mickelson, and Isaac Vaha into the game, playing their patented 3-2 defense. Yu gives it over to Stone. Stone slapped away by Mickelson. Literally slapped away. Williams on the right side, over to Ross. Ross pump fakes, up to Williams. Williams driving. Williams fakes, over to Vaha. Vaha playing point guard here. Just kidding, over to Bushman. Bushman over to Vaha. Vaha wide open for 3. No good. Vaha was making those warm-ups. And the ball is tipped around for the rebound, and Cale Mixon goes to the floor with it like a WWE wrestler on Friday Night SmackDown, and the Vikings are going to retain possession here.
What a great analogy there, Brendan.
Cale Mickelson picked up the ball and pile drived that thing to the ground, bringing the defender with him. Ross in the backcourt. Ross over to Williams. Williams finds a cutting Cale Mickelson, wide open for an alley-oop layup. Vikings use that backdoor play. It works a lot. Sort of like the play the Jazz ran with Joe Ingles and Gordon Hayward, and Gordon Hayward would get an alley-oop every time.
I see.
Hudson Hansen with the spin layup gets one. Vikings up 12-10. 6:53 in the second quarter. Vaha up top. Over to Bushman. Bushman calls for a Vaha screen. Vaha rolls. Bushman drives. Over to Ross on the left. Ross thinks about a 3. Flips it over to Mickelson. Mickelson steps back for 3. Got it. Cale Mickelson from way downtown. Number 12. Oliver Thomas being picked up by Andrew Williams. Hansen driving on Vaha. Vaha says, "Not today, sir." Ross guarding number 4. Thomas drives on Williams. Number 4 in the corner steps out of bounds. That's illegal, contrary to the rules of the game of basketball, and that's going to be Viking basketball.
Funnily enough, I was surprised to see Cale Mickelson on that that sneaky backdoor play and not Jamari Egbert.
Well, Jamari's not in the game, but... Ross on the left side, coming off a Vaha screen. Ross pulls up for a mid-range jump shot. Got it. Ross taking what the defense gave him there and converting with the mid-range jump shot. Vikings up 7 with their lead expanding in the second quarter. I don't think this Bellevue team can contain the Vikings on offense. Hansen turning baseline. Turning. Lays a hook shot on Vaha. No good. Vaha finds a cutting Cale Mixon. Poked out of bounds by number 11, Eric Hart. It's going to be Viking basketball on the sideline.
Ref nearly ran into that ball. Would have had to call it out on him.
Would have been a catastrophe. Don't you hate it when the ref touches the ball and you're playing a game?
Gah, bah humbug.
Mickelson over to Vaha in the corner. Vaha coming off a Mickelson screen. Vaha up to Bushman. Hands off to Ross. Ross playing point guard. Comes off a Vaha screen. Ross flips it up to Kale. Kale throws it down to Vaha. Vaha turns, spins, lays it up and in for two. Isaac Vaha dominating here in California. 19-10, 5:05. Vikings bench gets loud. Vikings bench gets even louder. Hansen in the corner. Up top to Thomas. Thomas trying to get free from the defense and can't. The Viking bench is making things too loud for the Wolverine offense to hear anything. Thomas stolen away by Jordan Ross. Jordan Ross up the court. Jordan Ross lays it up and in for two. Vikings up 11. Timeout Bellevue. And the bench storms the court, and it's only the second quarter.
Brendan, we have a game on our hands.
Definitely. This has been very interesting as the Vikings have exploded offensively, scoring more points than they did in the first quarter already.
Absolutely. Bellevue looks like they're a little stumped here. They're getting shut down by Vikings on defense, and they're getting not destroyed, but they are falling back a little on offense.
One thing that the Vikings have really taken advantage of and just put teams to the guillotine with is the transition offense. They get out and run faster than most teams here do, and most teams don't have the transition defensive skills to get back and stop it. Time after time, we've seen Jordan Ross just get a steal and lay up.
Tonight, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Rogers & Russell Attorneys at Law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove near the rodeo grounds. Murdoch Hyundai, located adjacent to Home Depot in Orem. Yes, it was.
And the bus drive back tonight. Wee-ha.
I don't know if I'm going to sleep on that tonight.
It's going to be rough. Very. So, taking the court for the Vikings is the same lineup as the timeout was called. Not Thomas. Durrell trying to get past Ross. Stone in the corner. Stone bringing it up top. Flips it over to number 4. Number 4 holding the ball high. Over to Stone. Stone drives on Vaha in the lane. Floater. Got it. Bellevue scoring their first points of the second quarter. Bushman over to Kale. Kale over to Ross. Nearly stolen. Ross recovers. Coach Randy McAllister calls the play on the sideline. Randy McAllister hoping to continue his coaching career for many years here at Pleasant Grove High, establishing what some would say a legacy dominance as the Pleasant Grove basketball program has exhibited over the years here under Randy McAllister. Stone up to number 4. 4 driving in the lane, does a weird layup and doesn't get it to go. Vaha down to Mickelson. Mickelson over to Bushman. Bushman drives, lays it up, no good. Rebounded by Mickelson, up and in. Vikings up 23-12, 3:17 left in the second quarter. Mitten getting ready to check in for the Vikings. Durrell to the left, over to Hansen in the high post. Hansen faces up and pulls for a mid-range jump shot. Got it. Hansen's pretty nice with that face-up game. Ross on the right side over to Vaha. Vaha back up to Ross. Ross, nobody picks him up. Flips it over to Williams. Williams driving in the lane. Flips it out to Bushman. Bushman driving. Ross backing it out. Ross over to Bushman. Bushman back to Ross. Ross over to Williams. Williams back to Ross. Into the high post to Kale. Bushman for 3. No good. Rebound Kale Mickelson. In the corner being double teamed. Kicks out to Ross. Ross tries a 3. No good. Rebounded by Hansen. Hansen up the court to number 4. Number 4 is going to try and drive on Williams. Shut down. Mickelson picks up Hansen. Mickelson switches on to Durrell. Durrell trying to get it into Hansen and does. Hansen over to Nash. Nash back to 4. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. 4. Being double teamed by Kale and throws it out of bounds. Vikings forcing a turnover there. Checking into the game is Mitten and Jamari for the Vikings.
Bellevue adopting a 2-3 defense that the Vikings have played before but have since moved on from since their first game against Canyon Springs.
Well, the Vikings like to just absolutely abuse the high post when teams try to play 2-3 defense on them and look for that to do them there as they find Jamari Egbert with a backdoor cut and a one-handed slam.
What a great play right there.
That's going to be on SportsCenter.
Just hoping Ollie got that.
Yeah, hoping our camera boys got that. Durrell. As the Vikings bench gets loud. Vikings pride themselves on being the most hype bench of all time. They may have a point there. As 13 lays it up, no, rebounded by Kale. Kale up the court. Kale driving by everyone, hands off to Mitten. Mitten draws Gus up in the air and draws the foul. He's going to get 2 free throws. Vikings up 11, minute 15 remaining in the first half. Something we've seen relatively little to none of is fouls in this game, actually.
Yes.
Both teams only having 2 team fouls in the first half.
It's been a super clean game and a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, that's what you like to see if you're a basketball fan. What else you like to see is that Jamari dunk. Woo!
Oh, goodness, is that a good thing to see.
That was spicy.
Our good friend Matt Halliday, our team photographer, or our PGSN photographer, hopefully got a good photo of that.
The photographer of all photographers.
Yes.
Layup is good there. The free throws by Daniel Mitten. Misses the first one, makes the second one. Durrell on the right. Durrell crosses over, hands off to Hansen. Hansen spinning away from Ross. Over to Durrell. Durrell back to Hansen. Hansen trying to drive. He can't think with his Viking bench. Hansen lays it up and in for 2. The Viking bench making it almost impossible for the coach to call a play, though. Ross in the middle. Over to Mickelson. Mickelson back to Ross. Over to the high post to Jamari. Jamari takes a dribble over to Williams in the corner for 3. Brick. Rebounded by Bellevue. Bellevue up ahead to Durrell. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Hansen thinks about a 3. Pulls up for a 2 instead. Brick. Rebounded by number 22. Number 22 out to Stone. Bellevue wants to hold for the last shot here. Hansen being guarded by Mitten. Durrell being guarded by Jamari. Durrell switching on by Mitten. Over to Hansen. Hansen with 8. Stone with 5. Stone drives. And Daniel Mitten drawing the offensive foul there. Vikings are going to get one last shot attempt with the 4.6 remaining in the first half. Blah. That's the fatigue setting in. Williams wide open at the half court. Williams with 2. Williams in the lane with 1. Lays it up. And the tip-in is no good at the buzzer. The valiant effort, though, by the Vikings at the end of the first half. At the end of the first half, your Pleasant Grove Vikings up 10 on the Bellevue Wolverines, 26-16. Third quarter will be coming your way momentarily after these PGSN messages.
We'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Rogers & Russell Attorney at Law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove, Utah, near the rodeo grounds, and Murdoch Hyundai, located adjacent to Home Depot in Orem, Utah. And last but not least, Lowbook Car Sales, located across the street from Walmart in Linden.
Dude. Not this one.
Can you hear me?
How many viewers do we have right now? How many what? Viewers.
We don't know on KSL. Let's go. Bellevue Wolverines are not doing the same thing. I hate to say that, but they just aren't. That's one huge difference in the mental game and people cheering for you.
As the tournament's out in California, both sides don't have a whole lot of fans here for cheering for them. So the benches really make up the student section and the parent section and everything here.
Yes, they do.
Bellevue Wolverines traveling all the way from Bellevue, Washington. Here, Bellevue, Washington has some excellent bagels.
Excellent bagels?
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah. Speaking of bagels, number 3 gets the ball. Number 3, Nash. Over to 11, spots up for a 3, got it. Good start out of the gates for Bellevue. Ross on the right side. Flips it over to Williams. Williams back to Ross on the left. Ross over to Kale on the right. Kale finds Williams in the corner, up to Ross. Ross over to Kale. Vikings moving the ball fast. Vaha on the left block. Jordan jump pass to Kale. Williams. Williams thought about a 3, give it back to Ross. Ross off to Williams. Williams over to Kale. Kale driving baseline. Kale flips it out to Ross, nearly going out of bounds. Ross with 4 on the shot clock left. Crosses over. No good. Rebound Kale Mickelson. Rebound Kale fighting in the corner. Gets it blocked. And number 10, Hudson Hansen gets the rebound for Bellevue. Hansen over to Durrell. Durrell being guarded by Williams. Vikings going to a man to start the second half. Hansen with the height advantage on Williams. Hansen drives. Hansen pulls up. Williams swats it away. Williams gets on the floor for it, and it's going to be Viking basketball. Kale Mickelson inbounds to Jordan Ross. Ross is going to walk it up the court. Ross puts his hand in the air. Calling for Williams. Williams over to Ross. Ross backs out. Ross flips it over to Mickelson. Mickelson bringing it over the middle, over to Williams. Williams finds Mickelson in the right corner. Mickelson over to Williams. Williams back to Mickelson. Mickelson looking for the post boys, but they're not going to give it, so he's going to flip it cross court to Jordan. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Jordan Ross pulls up, no good. Rebound tapped around, recovered by number 11, Eric Hart, and he draws a foul on Andrew Williams. And Daniel Mitten is going to check out, and Preston Bushman will check in for the Vikings. Durrell off the half court line. Durrell down to Hansen. Hansen banging in the post, trying to get it up on Vaha. Hansen throws up an air ball stripped away by Bushman. Bushman over to Ross. Ross throws it right to number 11, Eric Hart. Hart over to Durrell. Durrell hands off to Eric Hart, who bricks a 3. Picked up by number 4 in the corner, being double teamed by Vaha and Bushman. Bushman tries to get a steal. Number 3 lays it up on Jordan Ross. Viking lead cut to 5, excuse me. It's hard to see the scoreboard. Timeout, Pleasant Grove. 5:19 in the third quarter. Pleasant Grove, Bellevue on a 5-0 run to start the third quarter. Pleasant Grove needs to regain their mental focus.
Yes, they do. It looks like they had the pedal to the metal. They were going. They had ahead of steam, but they let up after the half. I don't know what it was, but Bellevue got some momentum, and they carried it.
Well, Bellevue has really changed their defense.
From a 2-3 zone, which the Vikings used to love to do, but now they're going to a man-to-man, which is serving them a whole lot better, as you can see, since they're on a 5-0 run.
Well, the Vikings were just butchering that high post on their 2-3 zone, and now with their man-to-man defense, Coach Mack is going to have to make some adjustments.
Absolutely.
Ross across the half-court line, over to Vaha on the left. Vaha finds Jones underneath the basket, lays it up for 2 with a sweet reverse layup from Dylan Jones.
A bit backwards there. Usually Vaha's under the basket.
And Jones is given in the pass. Vikings up 7. 4:54 remaining in the third. Nash dribbling around the arc, gives over to number 4. Number 4 jab steps. Up to Hansen. Hansen tries for 3. Got it. Viking lead cut to 4. Ross walking right past the "Are you a big baller" sign on the wall. Ross definitely is a big baller. Over to Mickelson in the high post. Mickelson driving, steps back, off the glass, and kisses it home for 2. Durrell across the half-court line. Durrell still being guarded by Ross. Over to Nash in the post. Nash with a fading right-handed jump shot somehow gets it to go home. Vikings up 4. 3:55 remaining in the third. Ross calling the play. Ross comes off a Vaha screen. Over to Kale up top. Kale into Bushman. Bushman driving the baseline, throws it off the leg of a Bellevue player, and it's going to stay here, Viking ball. Ross to inbound underneath. Ross finds Bushman in the corner, and Bushman loses it out of bounds, and it's going to stay Viking basketball. Kale's going to inbound in the far corner. Might try and shoot it. Just kidding. Gives up to Ross. Ross backing. Over to Jones on the left. Jones back to Ross. 3 seconds left. Vaha for 3. No good. Rebounded by Mickelson. And there's a foul on the play. It's going to be a loose ball foul on one of the Bellevue players, and the Bellevue player looks more confused than me in biology class.
Quite a confusing class that is.
I just don't get it. I have Healy.
Oh. Biggs is a good teacher.
I guess. I wouldn't know. Ross. Up to Bushman on the left. Bushman comes off a Vaha screen, driving in the lane, hangs, finish, and doesn't finish. Rebounded by Stone. Stone up the court. Stone still up the court. Over to 4 on the left side for a 3. In and out. Rebounded by Stone. Stone's everywhere. Stolen by Bushman. The battle of the bush and the stone was won by the bush. Mickelson up top for 3. Off the back of the rim. Rebound. Bouncing around like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. Will Durrell up top. Vikings go to the 3-2 defense. This is where things start to get scary for opposing teams. Durrell over to 4. 4 finds Stone in the corner. Bushman comes out on him. Durrell up top, being guarded by Jones. Back cut, tries. Someone doesn't have the ball. Stone gets it in the corner. Stone driving on Bushman. Stone falls, tips it out to number 4. 4 seconds left on the shot clock, stolen by Kale. Kale gives it up to Bushman. Bushman up the court on the right side. Jordan with a flip pass to Vaha, who finishes with the layup.
Pretty interesting here, Brendan. It looks like the refs aren't calling a lot.
Yeah. As the Viking bench gets loud, HP stands up and waves his arms like a majestic pterodactyl. Stone in the corner. Tipped away by Jones, recovered by Bellevue. Nash in the high post. Down to Hansen. Hansen kicks out cross, tipped away by Isaac Vaha. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Jamari and Mike Daniel getting ready to check in. Timeout Bellevue with the Pleasant Grove Vikings up 6 points with 1:50 remaining in the third quarter.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's event. Rogers & Russell Attorneys at Law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove near the rodeo grounds. Murdoch Hyundai, located adjacent to Home Depot in Orem. And Lowbook Car Sales, located across the street from Walmart in Linden, Utah.
Shout out to our camera crew tonight. We've got Boston Jones, freshman member of the sophomore basketball team, and Matt Halliday chilling on a chair over there.
Yep.
And Oliver Hatfield currently filming us. What's up, Ollie?
And then shout out to Russ, the coolest teacher ever. He is our producer tonight.
DJ Russ Mayo on the mic.
Yep.
The Vikings got to break huddle here, else the ref might just hand Bellevue the ball and they'll have a wide open layup. Vikings getting into defensive formation. Bellevue, lob, Hansen, lays it up and in, wide open. Minute 47 remaining. Vikings up 4. Ross across the half-court line. Ross over to Mitten. Mitten behind the three-point line, pulls with the foot over the line, brick. Rebounded by Bushman. Viking offensive boards are definitely giving them an advantage tonight. Looks like the shot clock had a problem.
Must be difficult keeping track of all those shiny buttons.
I've done it before. It's not the easiest job in the world. Ross. Over to Mitten. Mitten on the right side looking for a cutting Jones. Doesn't give it to him. Mitten up to Egbert. Egbert in the lane. Hop step. Finds a cutting Jones this time and gets his rebound. Shot swatted, but gets his rebound and lays it up and in for 2. Vikings up 6. As the coaches are calling out a defense that it looks like Jamari's not reading the play quite right. As the brick 3 is rebounded by Jamari. Jamari up ahead. Jamari finding Min. Stolen by number 2. I don't have my roster on me. Number 2 hands off to 21. Hansen in the corner. Over to Durrell. Hart on the right side as the Viking bench is getting louder than my hotel room last night.
20 seconds left.
Shot clock at 8. Durrell with 5 on the shot clock. Durrell over to 21, over to Hansen in the corner with 2. Got it. Vikings only up 3. 7 seconds in the third quarter. Jones across the half-court line. Jones in the lane, Euro-stepping with a pretty move and lays it up and in. And Jones extending the Viking lead just before the end of the third quarter. And Vikings up 5, 36-31. Vikings met with a bit of an opposing attack there from Bellevue in that third quarter. Fourth quarter just underway. We've got a good game on our hands.
Yes, indeed, we do. One thing we've seen is the Vikings and the Wolverines both switching defense on a dime. Vikings have switched from a man-to-man to a 2-3 to a 3-2. And the Wolverines have done just the same thing with varying effects on either side, which just makes it really difficult to adapt.
Yeah, as a former player myself, I've seen opposing teams switch defenses on a dime, and you have to consistently change your offense to match that defense, and it can become tricky, but with the right coaching, it can be efficient, I should say.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'd say Coach Mack is the right coach.
Yes, definitely. Coach Mack, probably the greatest coach of No, never. Lord of the Rings, one of the greatest movie franchises of all times.
Yes. Getting back into the game now. It's fourth quarter, 31-36. Vikings lead over Bellevue Wolverines.
Vikings have the starters in and Dylan. Well, Dylan is sometimes a starter, but this tournament he hasn't been. Ross on the right side. Ross over to Bushman. Bushman back to Ross. Ross over to Bushman again. Bushman over to Kale, tries to step back, gives it back to Ross. Ross up to Kale. Kale finds Jones on the right side for 3, no good. Rebounded by Kale. Viking offensive rebounds have kept in this game. Ross drives to the left, pulls it back. Over to Jones. Jones driving on the right side, spinning in the lane, fading. The refs are going to call it travel there.
What a shame.
To quote a famous quote, it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes.
Ooh. That's good right there. That is good.
Yeah. 7:25 in the fourth quarter with the last game from the Rancho Mirage Holiday Classic Tournament underway. And the Vikings playing for third place, we should probably mention that, as losing their first game to Canyon Springs did not let them qualify for the first place game. As Cale Mickelson pokes the ball into the backcourt, timeout Bellevue. They can't handle the Viking bench. With the Viking bench just making things too intense in this gym, with this tiny gym with the acoustics.
Yes, absolutely.
It'd give even the strongest of minds a migraine.
Brendan, this is going to be a great game. There's only 5 points to score for Bellevue to be in the tied with the Vikings.
It's tied.
And there's most of the fourth quarter still left. What do you think that they're going to change on either offense or defense?
Well, on offense, they've been doing a good job keeping up with the Vikings, only down 5 points. They can definitely show that they can put points on the board, with their post attack being probably one of their biggest strengths.
Yep.
Defense, however, they need to get back in transition because that's where the Vikings get the majority of their points. And they've been doing so, holding the Vikings to not that many points in the third quarter. Maybe 5 in the third quarter. I wasn't keeping track, but it was not a large margin.
They learned their lesson with that in the second quarter, having 11 straight points scored on them. So
let's see if the Vikings can hold on and get this win. So the Vikings will keep the same lineup of Kale, Jordan, Bushman, Vaha, and Jones on the court here. Number 21, Rubenstein inbound to Durrell in the backcourt. Durrell trying to get past Ross. Ross says, not today, sir. Durrell over to Nash. Nash to Hart in the corner, and it's going to go between Hart's hands, Viking ball.
Need some napkins for those Butterfingers.
Ross across the half-court line, walking right by the big baller sign. Over to Jones on the left. Ross driving to the right with a no-look pass to Vaha, tipped out of bounds by Bellevue there.
Bellevue right now playing a 2-3 defense.
Number 4 checking in for Rubenstein. Ross inbounding, gives it to Bushman in the right corner. Bushman dribbling out. Bushman hands off to Ross. Vikings playing a really slow tempo here in the fourth quarter with 6:32 remaining. Vaha over to Ross in the left corner. Ross over to Vaha. Vaha takes one dribble and lays it up, no good. Rebounded it himself, fighting for the rebound underneath, and he's going to draw a jump ball there. It's going to be Bellevue basketball.
Vaha right there with just not enough time to go back up from the shot and draw the foul.
Ross coming out on Durrell. Durrell trying to get by Ross and set up the offense. Gives it to Hart. Hart over to Hansen, over to Durrell. Durrell over to number 4. 4 over to Hart. Hart pulls for a 3. Got it. Viking lead cut to just 2.
Makes this a 2-point game.
5:50 in the fourth quarter. Vikings need a score here. Jones on the left side, back up to Ross. Ross over to Bushman. Poked away by Hart, stolen by Hart. Hart up the court. Hart with one man to beat. Hart Euro stepping, lays it up and in. Tie ball game. 5:30 remaining. Ross flips it over to Bushman. Bushman over to Ross. Ross trying to call the play. Over to Bushman. Bushman. Over to Kale in the high post. Kale thinks about it, drives, puts 1 foot on the board. No good, rebounded by Vaha. And there's a foul in the lane. The Bellevue coach is extremely upset.
Brendan, I think we've only seen 1 or 2 shooting fouls this entire game.
Yeah. Ross to Bushman in the corner. Bushman over to Ross in the right corner, trying to get Vaha on the post. Gives it to him. Vaha faces up, takes the dribble, spins, lays it up, no good, gets his own rebound. Vaha takes another shot, blocked, gets a rebound again, over to Bushman on the left side, takes a dribble, finds Jones underneath, but Jones gets in. Vaha lays it up and in for 2, and the Vikings get the lead back. 4:45 left. Vikings up 2.
Scrambling.
Durrell driving, being guarded by Ross. Over to Hansen. Hansen being guarded by Vaha. Hansen driving. Viking bench is so loud. I cannot hear myself think. Hart pulls for a 3. No good. Back to Hart. Hart up top to Durrell. Bellevue trying to get a play in. 4:20 left. I get that every game, dude. Durrell driving. Being double teamed by Ross and Vaha. Over to number 4 in the corner for 3. No good. Rebounded by Jordan. Jordan spins out of the way of Nash. Jordan with a no-look pass to Jones in the corner. Out of bounds. Bellevue ball.
Right now, Vikings are getting a little sloppy, Brendan. They need to pick it up or else they're going to get scored on all of these bad passes.
Vikings with a 2-point lead with 4 minutes remaining. Durrell getting across the half-court line. Durrell getting switched on to by Bushman. Timeout Bellevue. 3:50 left, Vikings up 2.
At this point, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Rogers & Russell Attorneys at Law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove near the rodeo grounds. Murdoch Hyundai, adjacent to Home Depot in Orem, and Lobut Car Sales, located across the street from Walmart in Linden, Utah.
Landon, guess what?
What?
Earlier today,
You tried to grow a wonder stash like Hunter Powell?
no.
Ah.
However, you do remember a few years ago when LaMelo Ball pointed to the half-court line and shot it in a high school game and nailed it, right? I touched the net that he shot on.
No.
I
You
did.
touched the net of all nets.
It's not the net of all nets, but definitely in top. Is a solid basketball player. Make sure to tune in for our Junior Jazz All-Star game.
Put on by yours truly.
That'll be coming up in a month or 2, and maybe another Junior Jazz game or 2. You know what they say about Junior Jazz? It's basically the G League of high school basketball.
Yep. It's also all fun and games until someone brings their grandma into play.
My grandma's not on my Junior Jazz team.
We have a little bit of confusion here at the officials table.
Looks like the score has messed something up. We apologize for the technical difficulties with the game, not us. We've had a good broadcast today.
We have had quite a good broadcast.
Definitely been on my game. We know I listen to some pump-up music to commentate and stuff. Hansen gets the ball in the backcourt, guarded by Vaha. Vikings going to a man defense here. Jordan being isolated with Durrell on the left side. Over to Nash. Nash hands off to Hart. Hart driving in the lane. Blocked out of the gym by Vaha. Durrell recovers, though. Up to number 4. 4 in the lane. Lays it up. No good. Rebounded by Bushman. Bushman up the court. Bushman driving. Hangs. Lays it up and in.
What a great point right there by Preston Bushman.
Durrell off the cross half court line over to Hansen. Bellevue making a concerted effort to get the ball to Hart. Durrell. Over to Nash, over to Hart. Hart being guarded by Kale. Hart hands off to number 4. 4 over to Durrell. Down to Nash. Nash with a face-up jump shot. No good. Rebounded by 4. Out to Durrell in the corner. Durrell thinks about a 3, but sees Dillon and decides not to shoot it. Hansen on the middle. Hansen driving on Vaha. Hansen hangs. And
A charge!
charge drawn by Kale Mickelson. That'll be a turnover for Bellevue, and the Vikings will get the ball. 2:42 remaining. Up 4. This could be crucial. Mitten checking into the game for Dylan Jones with a great run and scoring about 6 points or so, I believe.
Boy, his phone must be full after that charge.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Did you come up with that?
I did, just off the top of my head.
Wow.
I thought back to Shazam, the scene of and your phone is charged and your phone is charged.
Nice. Vaha, hook shot. No good. Rebounded by Bushman. Bushman with some great hustle there. Bushman drives over to Ross. Ross on the left. Ross backs out. Ross behind the back. 2:13. 24 on the shot clock. Ross pulls up. Got it.
Great shot right there from the free throw line.
Jordan Ross just methodically working his way through the Bellevue defense and pulls up for a great jump shot. Viking bench gets loud. Durrell trying to get by Ross. Sees Bushman. Over to Hansen. Hansen. Over to Durrell. Durrell pulls for a 3. No good. Rebound Bushman. Bushman with some great rebounding here, and Bushman draws a foul. Stone's getting in to check in for the game for Bellevue. Stone taking Hart out. Preston inbounds to Kale. Bip Jordan in the face, but he seems okay.
Oops.
Kale crosses over. Kale hesitates. Kale driving. Kale backing back out. Vikings with a minute 30 trying to get the shot clock off, and
I mean, hey, when you...
Kale draws a 5-second count. Good defense there by Bellevue. Hart checking back into the game for Durrell. Number 4, playing point guard here now that Durrell's out of the game. 4, hands off to Hansen. Hansen driving, Hansen pulling for a mid-range jump shot, rebounded by Vaha. Vaha up the court to Mickelson on the right side. Mickelson with more than 14. Mickelson spinning. Mickelson hanging. Ball bounced around. Stolen by Stone. He's going to step out of bounds. Viking basketball. Minute 8 left to play. And the ball is down the court. The ball is running away.
Have a runaway ball.
The ball is not coming back. The ball is bouncing on the ball back, trying to make it over to the door. Picked up by a random guy sitting under the baseline, and he hands it to the ref safely. Minute 8 left to play.
Vikings with a 6-point lead.
Ross under the basket, trying to get it in. Does so to Vaha up top. Over to Mickelson. Mickelson up top. Got a 5-second count going. Mickelson driving. Mickelson trying to get past his defender. Timeout, Coach Mack. .30-second timeout. We'll keep it here.
58 seconds left in this game, Brendan. 36-42. Pleasant Grove's leading Bellevue by 6 points. That is a hair thread.
It was a decent margin.
Well, we have seen 2 shooters from the Wolverines that can hit threes all day.
Hart and
Absolutely.
Hansen.
Yes, and if they can get a shot off of each of those 2 players or 2 from 1, they're back in this game. But they have 58 seconds to get up to the Vikings and stop them from leading. That's going to be really difficult, and let's see if they can pull this off.
Well, this Viking defense has been basically clamped down, and they figured out the Bellevue offense so far, so my bet is Vikings to win this game, but we'll see how it turns out. That's why they play the games, in the words of Kobe Bryant. Williams to inbounds. Williams finds Kale wide open, cutting for a layup.
Oh,
And that could be the dagger in the chest to finish this game. Vikings up 8. Number 4 across the half-court line, 50 seconds left to play. Hands off to Ross. Hart pulls for a 3, no good. Rebound saved by Kale Mickelson off the foot of Stone, and it's going to be Viking ball. Kale's going to inbound in the corner. Kale finding a Ross, stolen away by Stone. Stone takes it to the racks, blocked out of bounds by Kale Mickelson.
Wow. Number 13, Stone there, looking super confused, hoping to get a foul on that.
Kale Mickelson said, "No, not today, not ever, son." Inbound up top to Hansen. Hansen's got 34 seconds left. Into Nash. Nash finds number 4. Rebound tipped around but covered by Mitten. And Mitten draws a foul immediately after getting the rebound. Vikings are going to side out underneath the basket.
Great job by Daniel Mitten on that rebound.
Daniel Mitten just using his height to his advantage there and getting the rebound. Mickelson over to Williams. Williams down the court. Pulls it and draws a foul on Hart. Excuse me, timeout, Coach Randy McAllister.
23.8 seconds left, 44-36. Vikings lead by 8 points.
This is an interesting game on our hands here. 23 seconds remaining.
Been a pretty clean game. That's one thing I really like about this game is there's two great teams. They have equal height. They have a lot of speed, a lot of outside shooting capability, and there's been very few fouls. Like you said plenty of times, Brendan, the defensive transition to offense for the Vikings has been outstanding. They've cooked Bellevue almost every single time. I might have to go to your side on this.
About what?
Your bet of the Vikings winning.
Oh, I think it's a pretty logical assumption at this point in the game.
Pretty safe bet. Here we go, both teams with 5 seconds left in the timeout. Bellevue taking the court.
As Vikings in their huddle with finish. And Kale, and to finish the game for the Vikings is Bushman, Williams, Vaha, and Kale. Williams into Kale in the corner. Kale for 3. Rebounded by Vaha. Vaha goes up, swatted away by Nash. Nash down the court to Stone. Stone driving, Euro stepping, poked away, gets it back. Over to 4. 4 thinks about a 3. Vaha nearly got it in midair. Off the hands of Ross, and 11 gets it and nails it from downtown. Timeout, Bellevue with 2 seconds left, Vikings up 5. I don't know why they took a timeout, but okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Rogers & Russell Attorneys at Law, located just off of State Street in Pleasant Grove, Utah, near the rodeo grounds. Murdoch Hyundai, located in Orem, adjacent to Home Depot, and Lowbook Car Sales, located across the street from Walmart in Linden.
Am I allowed to do their jingle?
The
lowbooksale.com, or is it even that?
This ain't for the money, this is for the love. This is sweating through my shirt before the sun's up. Thought that I was sure, thought that I would stop, but now I got 'em waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, I'm a flame burning bold in a world that's so cold. I'm just getting
in their division in the Rancho Mirage Holiday Classic Tournament.
Gatorade division, that is.
Yes. Kale running the baseline into Vaha, and Vaha gets fouled with 2.1 on the remaining. They didn't start the clock in time on that. Come on, scorekeeper. I'm just kidding. It's 2.
And we enter 1-on-1s.
2 adolescent children are keeping score, so can't really blame them. So if Vaha just misses this on purpose, I'm not saying he should, but it could be beneficial. Just get the game over.
Not the best sportsmanship by one of the adults here in the crowd.
What did he say?
He made a noise when he threw.
Oh, well, it's game. And Vaha nails both of the free throws, essentially ending this game. Nash as the buzzer goes, and this game is over. Pleasant Grove 46, the Bellevue Wolverines 39 as the Vikings take third place in the Holiday Classic. I think we'll have the post-game festivities as the Vikings are awarded their stuff for third place here.
We will stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
This ain't for the money, this is for the love. This is sweating through my shirt before the sun's up. Thought that I was sure, thought that I would stop, but now I got 'em waiting for the other shoe to drop. Oh, I'm a flame burning bold in a world that's so cold. I'm just getting